Good morning, ladies. This is your wife coach, April, and I came across a question for the men by Black Marriage Movement on Instagram. And the question was, what is the one thing that men need from women?
Yeah, boy.
And when you look into the comments in Black Marriage Movement, they ask them to explain what that thing is. And then when you look into the comments, it's littered with the word respect. It's the number one thing that most men need, want, desire. And I can say it is very much true to my husband as well. That is one of the things that I feel that we had to figure out and quickly. And them asking the question to explain what respect means to each individual man is very much necessary, because for each man, respect and how it's defined is very different and unique. It should not be, but it is. There are some basics to respect, and then there are some specifics. I think that my husband being from a different country, his respect was largely defined by his culture and his upbringing. And me being an American, our definition of respect is very much different. So that's something that we had to figure out, He was demanding it, and I thought I was giving it. And that, again, is where communication comes in, at where you have to talk about what it is, what it means, and how to achieve it satisfactorily. But I think that if women learn to communicate this, or learn to come to their spouse or come to a man and say, how do you define respect? Or how do you see respect? Or how can I achieve the respect that you're looking for so that you feel more satisfied? But nevertheless, the word respect was very big. Some said respect, encouragement, and just different variations of that word, really. And I think it's something that's something that's kind of been lost in marriages, where women want to be considered equal, and so therefore the reverence, the holding up of the man to a different level and showing that has kind of been lost a little bit. Just simply when he walks into the door, if he's greeted or not, is very much related to respect, and if you give that level of respect to your spouse. My saying is this: if you can acknowledge your boss when you are at work, he comes in, he enters your office, your cubicle, whatever the situation is, and you can look and acknowledge him. Hey, what's up? How can I help you? Then you understand very well what respect is, and it is merely a choice that you choose not to give that level of respect to your husband. I have seen it where, I would be visiting someone and their husband would enter and he is pretty much ignored, as though he had not entered the home, or he has to make his presence known either by fussing or complaining or something like that, when it just simply, hey, how was your day, just anything along that line, just to acknowledge that his presence has been noted or whatever. It's a very small thing, and then the more you do it as a wife, then your children will pick up on that, and they also will greet their fathers appropriately when he enters the home. It used to be that, the father would go away to work and then come home, and the children would be so excited to see their father. We are a far cry from that, And while we can think that it's trivial or small things like that create big changes. And so it creates big changes in your mindset and how you treat one another, and even how the children interact with their father or their parents. So I can understand, the comments that were made in that particular post. And I would like to just emphasize that it is very much true. Ladies, if you would just simply listen to the men, they are telling you what they want, what they need.
Nice.
And all you have to do is make some adjustments. And when you do that, life will change for you. The results that you get will change. And you will find yourself a lot happier, having to deal with less issues. So I just want to encourage you ladies out there to find out what respect means for your spouse or significant others. Maybe you're far down the line, you're on the journey, you've been married a couple of years. It's never too late. If you can turn a career around, if you can change and lose weight, you can change your diet, if you can do anything differently in life, even though you've done it one way since forever, then you can definitely make some changes when it comes to respect. You just take little bitty things and you start to implement them. And then when you have perfected that thing, you pick another thing and you implement that. So for instance, when he comes home, make a note to, acknowledge him. And it's something very small. And you do that consistently. It takes about 2 weeks to make any definite or solid change. You do that for 2 weeks and then you add something on to that. And you keep going and you look back one day and you realize, hey, a year has gone by, 2 years, however long, and you're successfully doing this thing. And then also make a note as to how your husband is receiving that change. How has his disposition changed? How has he changed in the home? Is it making a difference? Communicate, talk, and act. Have you noticed I've been doing this? What do you think? Do you consider that respect? So on and so forth. Sometimes it can be just that simple. Asking questions and talking and communicating. So that's all I have for you today. I wanted to chime in on that particular question, and I wanted to acknowledge that I have also dealt with that in my own marriage, and I had to learn his way of showing him the respect that he desires. I would also like to say that it's not all on us ladies, but what you have to do or understand about change is that we can only focus on ourselves, and we can only start with ourselves. We can keep pointing the finger or waiting for someone else to do something first, but that's never going to create any lasting or significant change. Sometimes when someone sees you changing first, then they'll be motivated or inspired to change as well. Or sometimes and I know, women, we always change, we always do this, we always do that. Keep going. What are you going to do if you stop? What happens if you stop? That's when you're getting closer to divorce. That's when you're getting closer to becoming unhappy, becoming resentful, all those things.
No! God, please, no! No!
So it's better for you to just keep going and communicating. But that's all I have to say about that, and allowing you guys to carry on. Remember to ask your questions and I will give you my answers, and I want you to chime in on that. I will see you next time here, and this is your life coach, April.